We can get rolling.
Okay.
We got 4. I'll go through all here. Chet Wade. John Levine is not with us. He may jump on. Keep an eye. Lisa Herm. Brad McKibben here. Kim Clover here. Aaron Malvite
Here.
Okay, Commissioner Flynn will not be with us tonight. This is our final meeting unless something drastically changed or I haven't been paying attention in my own office. The transition going into that will be, I think, if you don't receive communication from us based on when you came on and some formula, you can go back into the tank, so to speak, of applicants, and look at the new board structures. I think dump your name in, where you might want to help out or contribute your expertise back to us.
Anybody have any questions on those?
Oh, yeah.
Want to ask?
Let's see, it's on your agendas. Okay.
Yeah, we'll jump back in. Citizens' comments, nothing there. The front door is open. Approval of October minutes.
Read out.
Yeah, all in favor? Okay, minutes will pass as presented. I don't know the formality of minutes from this meeting without the board to approve them. Or do they just sit in outer space for eternity? You know, I don't know, but we'll transcribe them and we'll go from there. Under new business, any new member business that isn't, transition related? Under old business, some maintenance updates, just, generally speaking. The main focus kind of going forward for us in the summer will be the kind of first pass at tastefully working on the South Broad, knowing its life expectancy in the future. First wave of that will be the entrance ramp. So it wouldn't be one of our garages if we didn't throw a nice disturbance in there, tax Mark's crew and all that good stuff. So that will be hitting papers if it didn't already, for potential bidders. I believe we're gonna open that on February 23rd, possibly. Between Gateway and municipal staff will review, award as necessary. That work will focus on the entrance ramp. We did remove a light pole earlier this year, at the start of it where there was, some cracking that came down through. We just want to make sure that that's buttoned up. Obviously, we don't have a south garage for 5 years without a way to get into it. So that's going to be the focus of that work. If you look near the ticket spitters, a lot of penetrations, wires, sealants over the years, drains added. So a lot of openings in terms of masonry and things to worry about. So that
expansion joint has always been an issue.
yes, where that ramp connects to the structure, that whole thing we want to button up and make sure will be serviceable for the future that we need it to. So that will be bid out. We may or may not do a mandatory pre-construct or pre-bid where we meet contractors on site. Mark and I will be there through all this, walking with everyone. Mark has all the history, which is awesome. And we'll go from there, but hopefully after a February award on, good numbers that we can get moving on that. So look for a nice disturbance later on this summer over at the south, but it won't have anything to do with sidewalks. So at least we got that.
Or garbage collection.
Or garbage collection.
Or solid waste fees or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Can I dovetail off of that? Tuesday night's meeting, you can go back and watch briefly if you are interested. The engineers did present briefly a top level summary of what the plan is for that Phil had illustrated, had pictures of what they're going to be doing and those types of things and areas they're going to be hitting. It also outlined what they're going to do in years 2 through 5, because the idea is that by year 5, that garage is torn down in some fashion, form, or whatever it is. That dovetailed into a conversation thereafter at that meeting that the commission is going to request a separate, it's not called this idea charrette is what maybe we're calling it. Cause there's a design charrette, but it's not a design. We're not designing anything. Because in the budget for this year, there is 150K for a feasibility study for that garage. So, and that space. It's not just the garage. I shouldn't say just the garage. It's for the entire space, built surrounding area, our municipal property, this municipal lot, effects on the municipal building and so forth. So look out for that. They think it's sounding like we're gonna have a separate Saturday session for that. We can, if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll let you know when that's happening or after the fact when it happens. If you're interested in watching it, it will be up on the YouTube channel. That the commission will then kind of throw out ideas, and we're gonna hire a facilitator that is more in the architectural space, that can facilitate that discussion, so that what they're trying to do is that the RFP isn't all the ideas of what they don't want to see. It's the feasibility of ideas they would like to see plus more, right? So, hey, if these are the top two ideas and the feasibility says, hey, it comes back and says, no, those aren't really feasible. And here's why. They'd rather have that than three ideas that kind of piecemeal it all together. And those types of things, at least that's what we're sensing. Now, after that Saturday session, like I mentioned, and then subsequent feasibility study, that may all change, but that's the tenor at this time for the next 5-year kind of plan, what we're looking at for the South Garage.
Should have been 2 Ts.
I have no idea. I don't even know if you're supposed to say the T or not.
Right. Maybe silent.
Yeah, it's silent. Charette. I don't know.
Just a suggestion, when that RFP does go out, I would not make it too cumbersome to the developer, because that tends to scare them away, or they trash it. About our Hill property.
Sure. Yeah, so, I think that's why they're asking for a professional that is in that space to come in first, as opposed to just having staff do it or commission do it and have a lead professional, which we're lucky in this community that we have plenty that will come help. So just an update on that.
Other maintenance updates, nothing dramatic over the last quarter. Our normal kind of HVAC, elevator, all that stuff is remaining the same. And a little bit of issue with some water getting into the salon space. It's historical. Not really a big deal unless the salon has your number. But they're great over there. I love those ladies. So they're good people.
Is it where it intersects with the garage and from the freestanding roof?
Yeah, the most recent freeze thaw kind of pulled some of our Sika joints out of masonry walls that need constant attention. So those things happen. It's not unknown, and they're a pleasure to work with over there. So we've good long relationship.
Right here on the south garage, just because I just parked there, and there's a pretty good amount of puddling on that top tier stairwell. I don't know if that's something that you guys have eyes on or plans for or whatever.
These temperature swings in these structures will douse them. So right now we have a trouble alarm in the elevator shaft of the north garage because it literally is like a shower coming down from the cement when you get this big of a swing. So it shorts out devices. The ceilings will drip. Sometimes we get calls. I'm sure Mark's got calls before whenever you get a swing like this.
It's like a rainforest.
Yeah, it is.
But this is like a lot of like standing water, so I don't.
Is it on the very top
It's on the very
level?
top, so
That's probably,
Yeah.
that there's a large drainage pipe and a drain that goes from the roof area of that stairwell that has been problematic in the past, but that pipe alone gathers a great amount of condensation.
Yes. Even in the north garage lower that has a dry suppression system, crews every 2 days have to drain the valve bodies of empty pipes because they condensate so much. The next time it freezes, it blows the line, it charges the system, and fire departments calling and saying, you did it again.
we are missing out on a lot of revenue though today because the gates up, and there's a ton of people parking there. So I don't know if you knew
Where,
that.
where's this right now?
Yeah, the gates, yeah, that's.
Wasn't up when I went in.
Oh, it's been up, like, cause I was in a big,
Oh,
line
you were in the
waiting.
line waiting.
Yeah.
You got it.
Sorry. You guys knew.
No, thank you for, we'll take care of it.
Yeah,
I got in fine, and then when I came out, there was already a line of cars.
yeah, there's a
Ladder.
big line, cause people aren't sure what to do.
Yes.
They're trying to be honest in the community by like still hitting the button, but the button's yellow. Sorry.
No, rather resolve the issue than not. I may return. See ya.
How do you rate that in there?
Emergency parking need.
Other maintenance issues, Mark is gonna touch up the gate out there.
Mhm.
But that, I mean, that's really all I have as of right now. Usually cold weather like this, the past couple of years, we've added a couple of unit heaters and stuff in hallways where we've had past, losses due to pipes and everything that affect, the salon, the other, vacant space, which is now the, brewery over there. If anyone has any questions on general operations or anything?
How's it going with the brewery there? Is there any issues? They're pretty happy with their space and.
He's pretty quiet. He'll deal directly with myself if there's issues. I'm sort of the landlord, I guess, as well, for those two spaces. And Scott's pretty straightforward and not needy kind of whatsoever. He's doing his thing in there and
They seem very busy, so.
Yeah,
I know his pizza menu has extended, he was proud to say, and it's one of the few pieces of equipment you can cook and do stuff without having expensive kitchen hoods, additional ductwork,
Yeah.
cutting into our roof that has a warranty, all that fun stuff that would, cause some headaches, so. He's, from all I know, he's doing pretty well, but we usually only speak when something's bad, so. Yes, so that is it at the moment.
I'll give the update on, since Mark has left, but, so a couple things, operations wise. There's a reason why we're going to gateless systems in the future for entry. We will be going to that, but that's a side note. A couple items this year to know that they're coming, that are parking related. We're replacing the two machines in the, academy lot, so those will be replaced. We will be doing a capital project for the North Garage vestibule at the very top level, so that will be also, coming this year. And those are probably the two large large items at this point. We've had, I don't know if you parked on Beverly Road lately, at one of the meter pull-ins.
you can.
If you can, yes, that's not a bad problem to have, right? But, we've had a lot of issues with the new meters we've installed. I won't sugarcoat it. That technical world of firmware evidently is very much, the 50 meters that we spent and, so on and so forth, the firmware was draining the batteries quite quickly. They're actually frying the batteries to where they would actually have no charge at all. Couldn't even recharge them. We had the recharger and it wouldn't recharge the battery. That's how much they were getting fried. So we are on, what Mark referred to today as Delta 5, which is the next change of progress from this point forward. So hopefully those $50,000 worth of meters finally start to not cause such an operational headache for us. But that's kind of the revenue side of us. I'll be tying up year end here in the next week or so. So, but all things were pointing to signs were good in November. So I don't think anything a month is going to change that. So all good on that end.
Board restructure, aside from my vague description I gave you earlier, if there's any more conversation on questions, Brad, I can get back to whoever has questions, most likely tomorrow morning. First thing, I don't have all the information that, Ian that does. But we, there you go. Any questions you guys have, we'll answer immediately.
It'll come up. There's more members on the boards, right? How are they gonna meet? It wasn't very clear.
Monthly.
They're gonna be
At this,
monthly.
to start, yes, correct. The ones that are action items similar to, so I'd say like the ones that have the traffic mobility board. that's gonna need to meet monthly, right? Traffic board historically met monthly. We met quarterly, but there are items within the traffic side of things that are more monthly. I believe some in the summer. Mark would be probably more attuned to this than I would be, but there are some meetings that are occasionally canceled, so probably, 10 times a year. But they are scheduled monthly. And all boards at this time are expected monthly,
Who appoints people?
the commission,
The commission.
yes.
How many, so there are 5, so what are they? It's
I
transportation.
have them here, yeah.
They sent out a text. you
Yeah,
guys
so
did.
it's civic engagement, which is really a merge of the Community Relations Board and the Historic Preservation Board. Economic Development and Sustainability Resiliency Board, which is ESB, the Economic Development, and there was one other. That might have been historic, whatever, but that's that focus. The Financial Management Board, which I will be leading, so come join me for that fun discussions. There's then the Mobility Board, which is really the merging of parking and the Traffic Board, and then there's the Parks and Rec Board.
And we would need to reapply, this being our last meeting, if we have an interest in any of those boards, we would just reapply.
That's correct. That's correct.
But I will send out if any terms, I think that's how it goes. Depending on when you joined, if you filled for someone or a new position, then there may be an offer to you to jump right on, I think. But I don't have those names in the list, but I will find that out.
My letter had me terminated in March,
Okay,
so I think
Yeah, so the term expiring, Lisa's 25, Taryn's 25. This letter. But
There's somebody, but it was like, it didn't seem to matter because it was only, the board was only be here for years. So
yeah,
like,
yeah. So I think really, in the interest of, do you want to join one of those boards or put your name in the hat for them? Has everybody got a copy or have seen where to go get the comprehensive plan? Okay, we'll send that out tomorrow. That's really gonna be the action plan for these 5 boards. It's really gonna be their focuses, so if something on that board interests you, that would be what I would focus on. It does kind of highlight exactly what those are gonna be focused on for the next 10-year kind of action plan to look at and that they structured the comp plan to follow those boards. That there would be an action plan coming out of that comp plan for those boards in the next 10 years. And to hopefully get some efficiencies, some synergies from combining some of those areas such as Parks and Rec, which makes sense, right? There's a whole comedy show based off of that. But mobility, I think, is a good one. I know that, with an active transportation plan, which is gonna go into the study will be happening this year. Then we have, the complete streets policies, we have sidewalk policies, all those things that have been recently done or are going to be done of those 3 specifically. Hopefully those synergies will start coming through in those boards and be able to actualize some of the things in the comp plan. So
what responsibility does the commission have to the boards? Do they have to take anything we say under advisement, but we don't have any ability to influence anything. And the commissions align 100% with each other. So what are the boards actually going to produce? What is the deliverable going to be?
Well, I think that's part of the consolidation. So the part of the consolidation of the 9 boards was there was a fragmentation there. But the idea is that the commission is going to be more. I'm not going to speak for the commission. That's not what I'm here to do. But the idea was at a consolidation level that one commissioner will be able to liaison not to 2 or 3 boards. It's now one focused board of these advisory boards. With that focus, then can give the deliverable and what they want the board to do, not the other way around. What was happening, what the feeling was, and you can see this on public meeting when they discuss it, is sometimes it was because there were so many, they were all doing their own thing and not being given an action item. or a direction of what to do. Now by consolidation, here's what we want this to do, then driven by the framework of the comp plan. So that it can influence things like, hey, what do we do for, in the mobility sector for the sidewalk plan? What do we do financial management? Because one of the things they want us to do is, and I'll speak directly to my board, if you look in there, one of the things they want us to do in the financial management board is study whether to bring trash collection in-house. You laugh about it. So the final contract right now is over, in 5 years, will be over $4 million a year.
You seen those idiots collect our garbage?
So again,
You seen those idiots collect our garbage, those new idiots?
I've seen,
It's unbelievable.
my garbage is gone from my,
It's incredibly.
from my yard. But the thought being is that now they have the action items in there. There's now a conduit to which to study that. Whereas before we had it would have kind of been a fledgling, and that's the kind of thing that they're trying to focus to, is based on that framework, by the end of 10 years, we should know why or why not we don't collect garbage in-house. And still doing the other things that were always done on the financial management board, which would be the pension advisory, right? So they're trying to mold those two. So Parks and Rec being one, like you have the sports advisory board and the Parks board merging kind of in together. But some of those core things that were like invasive species is a big action item that comes out of the Parks board. That still is expected to continue, those types of things. So some of those, things that have always been done at those levels will still be done, but it's then trying to focus that so that the commission liaison can then give direction that this is the action item we want from the board coming from a commission level, not the other way around.
The commission liaison on the mobility board, I couldn't find that.
Most likely, my guess is it's going to be Andrew Flynn. Based on that, so Steve Silverman's my liaison for the financial management board. Do you know who's Parks and
I
Rec?
think it's Craig.
Craig,
Ralph.
yeah, would make sense. Ann's most likely is the civic engagement is my guess. And then, Jeff will be on the
Mobility.
the economic sustainability, vitality.
And what would be the mobility?
Yeah, which is his background. Second,
Just curious.
that's my guess, but we can put that on action, we'll get that out to who those people are. So if you want to reach out to those individual commissioners, if you're interested in those boards, as to what their direction for that liaison is.
And then there's still other boards like the library board and.
Correct.
The library board and the planning commission, and well, I guess you don't.
Zoning.
Yes.
Zoning.
Those are required by law.
Correct.
So those also.
Civic, civil service. Zoning. The fun part of zoning, yes.
Will there be stuff to do?
There should be,
Okay.
much more than this board has. Yes, correct. Correct. And the idea being that there's action items. So if there's nothing to do, right, don't meet. Right? That's the idea. Because what we've found, and I will anecdotally say this, just from the different department directors, it's hard to get engagement when there isn't anything to do. We're having tough time engagement with the ability of having Zoom meetings. It's hard to get people together anymore. And so we're really trying to, at least the focus is to consolidate everybody so that it's focused, that when you're there, you're doing the work and you're getting out. For everybody, staff, commission liaison, and the board members. And it's worthwhile for everybody's time.
The Parks and Rec just had a full master plan done that led into the comp plan, so they have there's over a 230 item list of action items, and how they want to work through that would be probably the main focus, one of them. But I mean, they have a giant slew of that to go through.
Does all this take effect? I knew this, but I don't remember. Sorry.
April.
Further board restructure questions, anything like that? Mission updates. Pass through that, but we will get this list of everything out to you
Yep.
as well as questions that were asked with the answers that, we'll double check them all, although I believe we're all good. Any announcements from anyone? Anything else to bring up or anything like that?
Shoulders to cry on, I know. My last parking board meeting.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Need a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
Motion to dissolve.
Fade away.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just so you guys know, the help was already on.